from nose to nose.
Okay, so before we get into why we're really here, I mean, there's more reasons, but I just wanted to point that out first. Okay, so I wanted to speak first about MJF and WWE's, of course, their sudden interest in MJF. You know, the time he's been so far in his career. So of course, it says from this article, shout out to Ringside News. Fox, USA, and WWE have also they've already taken notice to him now. Interest from all parties, and that's very understandable because he's whether you want to believe it or not, or deny it, there's no ignoring his talent, and and bringing up the fact that he's one of the just straight up the hottest star right now, wrestler in professional wrestling. Yeah, you can't deny that at all. So of course, other parties such as WWE themselves is going to become very interested in MJF. And I actually went back a little bit. I think before I went back, I've actually one time seen before, as you see there, I've seen him, he was trying to get, this is actually kind of ironic too. It just shows how, how greedy and, their real intentions, considering that he's become the hottest. I mean, it's no deal because, how they had to, they have to show how valuable your stock is, your brand, and you'll become more interesting, more valuable to companies as if you really fit the mold with them or not. And yeah, I'll say okay to that, but it's just like it really tells you what their true intentions. They said he's all we want. He's everything we want, and we have to go forward with him. Oh, for sure. Yeah, okay. Fuck out of here. I know y'all real reasons, but yeah. Of course, and he showed he had made a video to Tough Enough. He had made a video to Tough Enough, to WWE. And, he was talking about Triple H, and it's. I guess he said something a little, sarcastic, snarky to Triple H in the video. But how about he's the next big thing, and you know it, and everything like that. So I guess that kind of rubbed them off the wrong way, and that I mean they would have, because they were still doing Tough Enough by that point, because this was in 2015, I believe. Yeah, so. And he had, so I guess they could have, if he hadn't came across like that in the video, I guess they kind of, it would have most likely, brought him on Tough Enough. But I guess, since he came off as that way, and you know how petty WWE is, Vince and Triple H mainly, and yeah, I guess that's why they, the next 5 to 6 years they didn't really, look forward in him. So that's why they went the way they went. That's why things happened the way they happened, which I love also. So hopefully he doesn't. He kind of trolled the fact also that he saw an article, regarding showing that WWE has become interested in him, and yeah, hopefully that doesn't become a reality. Like most likely he's probably not because of how much I think it's probably he probably even has a bigger contract in AEW or yeah he might just because he is I mean he is one of the few I don't know he probably is the only one that tries to keep kayfabe alive and he kind of comes off I think is really cocky and really doesn't I feel just my off of my opinion seeing from you know seeing him and yeah he might just go up and sign WWE and we already know what's gonna happen there if he signs with WWE. So yeah, hopefully he does. They don't. Hopefully this is hopefully this just all ends out in the next 2 years because he is going to become by that point, even if he isn't now, the hottest free agent and he's just the hottest star in wrestling as a whole. So hopefully hopefully it doesn't become reality. All I gotta say on that. Okay, so getting into Kevin Owens. Okay, Kevin Owens. Sorry for my breathing too. Kevin Owens. So I pretty much heard everybody talking about he's pretty much another one just like Johnny Gargano and few others. The next one being Kevin Owens the next one being talked about whether amongst the wrestling community whether or not he's leaving or not. So AEW everybody was pretty much speculating that he was going to be gone by 2022. Come by 2022. So, and not really. Just like how people is still speculating right now whether Bray is going to show up in AEW, and that's pretty much. That could be a possibility, but if he really wanted to or already be in AEW, then he would have already been there. Or they just they could just be when it comes to Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt, they could just be summing it up or taunting it as this next giant surprise, pineapple surprise. But it's understandable. It's understandable too why he did it too because he's pretty much going to be paid the exact same like Seth Rollins, $3 million a year. Yeah, he basically said that I mean he's 37. That doesn't really matter either, but yeah, he said I mean he says it's his. He said another reason. Well, let me say he said it was the best thing for his family, which is it was pretty that decision right there was it was pretty obvious why he made it, and that's understandable. That's understandable. He want the best possibilities, and the best where you can make sure your where you can make sure your family is as safe as they can be. So I understand that. That's very understandable coming from that situation. And he also said another reason why is because WWE has been his own for 7 years. So why would he go anywhere else when he's been there for pretty much his whole career? So I guess, but it's like when it comes to WWE or anywhere, is it really a home or not? Especially WWE, considering their history and Vince's true intentions. He likes to preach about how y'all know what I've already said and think on Vince as a whole, where I stand with where I stand with WWE and Vince about how they're most selfishly greedy, and he's just all about the pennies. So I guess it's like I said, it's understandable. It's understandable why he chose the decision he did because you want to make sure that your family is in the best state And, he wanted to secure them to that best state as possible. So, yeah, like I said, it's understandable. People could also saying that it could still be a possibility, whether it is or whether it's not. I already I also thought, I think he knew that this is probably his last chance, being in the title, when it comes to being in a major title picture that WWE's gonna get him in. So I guess because his friends is in AEW, so I guess he'll still probably go there, or I guess he just wants to as much as money as possible. So, like I said, he pretty much knows that this is going to be his last best chance at in a major title picture. As far as WWE is concerned, because they really haven't been pushing him like that. Or the last time too, I think he had a really big moment and story feud wise. I mean, it has been Kevin Owens too, but the one that was really big was with John Cena in 2015. So, and then recently now, I don't think WWE has done anything worthwhile when it comes to him and his run so far. So yeah, whatever's best for him. I'm behind that, and completely understand that. So for sure, he made the best decision possible. Which brings me to my next particular subject. WWE is so much of a home. They're so giving, loving. He loves all his talent, his community, blah, 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 blah. I've heard that before. So, this guy, this wrestler, yeah, Buff Bagwell, I've heard him a couple. I've heard his name, but yeah, he was one of the he had wrestled, and I guess he was one of the talent back when in WCW, and before it went down, crashed down, and it was bought by Vince McMahon in 2001, and he was one of the ones that didn't last long. When Vince had when he had his he had his petty vendetta going out, and he was just relentlessly out of nowhere just burying all the wrestlers. And like I said numerous times, if you don't want to believe or do your research, and you want to continue to be whether or not you're a e-cucker for Vince, and you get on your knees, whenever he tells you to do, you can continue to do that, or do you. But understand, I'm not saying that this is them saying this is bad enough, confirmation enough to let you know about WWE, and what you already think of them or not. So let me continue to read. This is Ringside News again. Shout out to them. Ringside News is where I get, like I said, where I get mainly my wrestling news from. And he said when he went to go, he wanted to go to rehab. So I guess he had, issues of his own. And he went to go to rehab, and it was rejected. He said I got turned down to go to rehab by the WWF. Think about that, bro. I mean, that's just not crazy. That's humiliation. What's that's been proven also. Yeah, Vince likes to so he likes to humiliate, and he has a sick fetish, and in humiliating his wrestlers, getting back at people. So he does it on his brand, his content. And he said, anyway, Bagwell said, any way you want to put it, I'm the only wrestler in the history of time for two things: to main event the first week, and then the next week you're fired. Damn, that's fucked. And he said, I'm the only person in the history of time to be turned down to go around for rehab. He said, so many good friends of mine went several times and it helped them. He said, and to be honest with you, I'm not bad. I'm not. But it's kind of like the little boy who cried wolf a little bit. My friends think I'm worse than I am, and I'm really not. But still, at the same time, I want them to feel good, and I want the fans to see that I'm going to put 60-day in. And they fired me in a fucking week in Atlanta. He's a piece of shit dude. Yeah, he's talking about Vince. He said, don't get me wrong, Vince is one of the best promoters for a long time, which I, like I said in the past, which I'll touch on in the future, which I highly doubt because he's had, just like Eric Bischoff, they like to say how they're they're the big collaborators and these big giant minds in pro wrestling and how they've flourished it when that's not the case at all. It's the people behind the scenes that actually gave them that type of knowledge. So fuck out of here. And he said he's one of the best promoters for a long time. He said, but in my situation, giving him 80 grand to say, hey, I'm giving you my heart and soul to show you on the team, and for him to use me as a sacrificial name to get the locker room to get together, and I lost 80 grand. Yeah, so he lost 80 grand, and he didn't even, he didn't even get benefited in a way. He didn't even get. I guess he's talking about how he didn't get pushed, or he didn't do anything to help him. He didn't do anything to help him propel in his career. And then he talks about how he got fired. And he said, "Can I get my 80 grand back?" And they didn't give him nothing. And that's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. And like I said, Vince has a history of doing that. Wrestlers like Brett. And I think Kogan, he probably doesn't say it out loud, but he probably still does, and he's had issues with Vince. Just Scott Steiner, many others. And like I said, people wants to, they want to. It's just like worshiping a celebrity or whoever they like to worship. People just want to speak out their ass all the time, get below, get down, and, bowing before, an individual or a company, an enterprise, and they don't give in actuality, they don't know they exist. They don't give a fuck about them. Words that's why they say influence. That's why when they say, or you heard before, when, influence is power, or they say, talking, convincing. Convincing is power, because when you able to convince somebody by just your words, you are able to swoon them. Because that's why I say knowledge is, knowledge over physical. Because when you're able to do that, have that kind of mind control over anybody, that's fucking dangerous. And it's a shame. Okay, last subject for the day. And yeah, so Brandi Rhodes. This is Cody Rhodes' wife. And yeah, Brandi Rhodes, she called out a fan. Actually, when I had watched, because I didn't really watch the video before, The Undertaker when he was with Joe Rogan. I didn't watch, but I watched it. A month ago, and I heard what he was talking about, and when he was talking to Joe Rogan, on the podcast, and he said, and when the Undertaker said, and it perfectly summed up, the generation of wrestlers today. When he said, wrestlers today is that, wrestlers today are soft. when he said that. When he said that, obviously, I think, obviously, it caught, a lot of them, which was obvious, and even proved his point even further. I think one of them was Seth Rollins too. So even though I like him, I think, yeah, it was one of them. I probably had to go back, but one of them was, I think, because I actually caught wind of it, and where somebody was talking about it, or I saw, Seth Rollins tweet. Yeah, obviously, wrestlers was pretty pissed about it when he said that. When he said the wrestlers of today, they're soft. And what he meant by that was that not their commitment, or when they go out there, because yeah, of course they have, being today, and having the ability to go out there and pretty much be able to do what others think they can't do, and go out there and be a wrestler and be able to take those type of risks, and injuring any part of your body. Yeah, he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about emotions, them being so sensitive to everything in the world, and like always, like like how a baby is cries at whines, and just completely cries and whines about every single thing that you try to talk to about, like the yeah just yeah one that if you try to give them something, or try to say that they can't have something or not, they just cry, and they say they want this and that, and then they cry and cry and cry. That's pretty much the wrestlers of today. And yeah, he explained it in that way. And yeah, every time I think back to that, and I even see more wrestlers like because yeah, she's pretty much another one. Brandi. When I see like wrestlers of like Jade Cargill, Brandi Rhodes, I don't, and yeah, just wrestlers like them. The Young Bucks, Top Dollar. Every time I think back to when Undertaker said that, when wrestlers of today are soft, he yeah he was completely right. They can't, not even criticism, like, or just ignore it. Like, you think Triple H, Shawn Michaels, or Stone Cold? And I know pretty much, like, people could probably get upset when I say that, or people say that our generation wasn't so sensitive and everything like that. That's pretty much, well, when it comes to wrestling, I don't think you know they gave a damn about what anybody else had to say about what they amounted to in the ring, or them as a wrestler. And it's like, these wrestlers bring up every damn, like, they try to bring, like I said, they try to bring politics, or how much money they make, or they bring up their skin color as of towards why they're receiving criticism. Yeah, any excuse that they can bring up as to them receiving criticism, and it's completely laughable. And then Brandi said, to somebody, she deleted her tweet, obviously, because she was probably upset. The person that Brandi responded to, she had said this. Yeah, she said, well, Melinda, my bank account sure thinks I am, so I'm gonna take the cash over your tweet, and no hard feelings. And obviously, the woman, the female, she obviously private her account, or deleted her tweet, and privated her account with her saying that. So because people had, I heard pretty much a lot of people was talking about how she was the night Brandi Rhodes came in the ring. I'm gonna do some little bit of research, because of course, before I don't know who Brandi Rhodes is, other than her being married to Cody Rhodes. I don't know anything about her as a wrestler. Nothing. Completely stonewalled completely stonewalled on her as a wrestler, so I don't know anything about her. But it's like when you say stuff like this, so it's like when you say stuff like that, you obviously know that you're putting in my you're putting in my mind, and I'm already thinking that you completely suck when you say stuff like that. Because if you actually like have a rebuttal, you know, especially going on Twitter too, and just you being a wrestler and everything like that, and having that kind of attitude toward anybody that even just have an opinion. It's just nowadays you can't have shit about nothing. You can't do anything at all. You have to suck everybody's thumb. You know, kiss their ass. Can't have no type of. That's how that's how things are able to improve and flourish forward. If you don't give any feedback, then how the fuck you know how anything or how is anything or that particular thing is supposed to go forward if you don't want to receive any type of advice or second opinion. And it's like I completely fall in my chair every time I see shit like this. You had Jade Gargill last week. Whatever she said about how black female wrestlers aren't people have issues. Which I said they probably there's obviously issues against black wrestlers, but not to that's I mean you can't. I mean, yeah, those others, they have their thoughts of what they think about black female wrestlers, but if you're going to use that but it's like she said it in a way because people were criticizing her in the ring, and she said that, so it's like when you say shit, and then now you have Brandi, talking about her bank account and how much that agrees with her wrestling in the ring. It's like when you see shit like this, it's just, oh my gosh. Yeah, can I please go back to where we didn't really have internet like that, and just like not have these type of wrestlers with these mindsets, because it makes no sense at all. Like, just you gonna like completely shit on somebody and just like straight up embarrassing yourself even further. And then you had of course you had cuckolds trying to combat. So, I'm sick of that argument. I'm sick of that stupid ass retarded ass argument where if you haven't played a sport, so why you should speak on it, bruh. It doesn't. That shit doesn't matter. I've watched something for. I haven't. I've played football a little bit of time, but I've watched. Boxing. I've watched basketball. I've watched. For damn sure, I watched wrestling. I've watched movies. I played video games, and I definitely, now just for having, for over, and that, over 20 years, I know, I can tell a move from a move. I can tell if you have charisma or not. I can tell the actors if they have if they can act or not. I can tell whether if a game, is worth to play. It's like I don't have to fucking know to actually be in that field just by, observing. Why do you think, the fucking, product excels in the first place? Because if it did, if you didn't have that type of feedback, then where the fuck would it be? It's like, it's fucking ridiculous. That argument, of course, is still being used. And, cuckolds, seeing if she'll notice them or not. It's completely fucking laughable. Completely laughable. And she didn't say anything. She probably didn't. Yeah, she didn't say anything that was just. She just had an opinion. That's all. And you want like that type of derogatory way where you just like completely dismiss somebody all because they had something that they don't think, they didn't, you know, they don't think you had one of the key aspects when it comes to being a wrestler. Unreal. Just unreal. And this is why, as a whole, too, because AEW has those, what I've seen so far, they have wrestlers that just go out their way, just completely say shit that's, completely nonsensical out of the blue. And it just tells you the mindset, whether it's their base, their wrestlers, their management, Tony Khan as a whole. They're all completely fucking high school dumbasses. Yeah, they all act like they have this, childish, immature high school mindset that, it's their way or the highway. We're all about what everybody wants to see. And you can completely see through that stupid shit, that fake ass shit. So that's pretty much all. That's all I have here. That's all we have here. Going over all that I have today as the subjects. My record when I speak on SmackDown tonight. SmackDown, because I'll be at of course I'll be on to I'll be working on something. So I don't think by that time I'll miss SmackDown. Probably really doesn't make much of a big deal anyway. So yeah, I'll see if I want to do it or not, or I'll just if I feel like it, I'll talk on it, or whatever happens next that grabs my attention. Whatever happens next that grabs my attention. So I'll get that for y'all, and or anything else too. Yeah, I'll probably speak. If I have that type of time, if I feel like it too at the minute, I'll speak on because I've been wanting to speak on LeBron a little bit, so I'll give that to y'all. So yeah. Enjoy your morning, rest of y'all day, and stay blessed. I'll see y'all when I see y'all.